Alright guys, we need to talk about Fragrant Story. Hello there everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Media. Today we're going to be doing my review for Fragrant Story, one of the last physical 3DS games on the Nintendo 3DS. So, of course, if you've been following me for a little bit, you know, when this got announced, I was very excited because, you know, a new physical 3DS game in 2022. And as a collector, very cool. It's very cool to see any new physical game come out on 3DS. A lot of people are in this whole collecting game for the potential of reselling eventually. I personally am not. I just think it's cool to have a brand new physical 3DS game in 2022. I wasn't too familiar with Squire Games. You know, I don't know if they haven't really made much before this. I know it's William Kage. He's done a couple of other like indie PC games, some Earthbound kind of style games. Odo-san being the notable one there. So I personally had very low expectations going into this, but I have to say, I've seen a lot of people really upset. I've had a couple people comment on my videos about the game saying, don't buy it, it's a scam. I think that's a little bit of an extreme. I think people had the wrong expectation for Fragrant Story. So, if you don't know, Fragrant Story is a tactical RPG akin to a Fire Emblem game or a Final Fantasy Tactics. Of course, the music was done by, I think it's Hitoshi Sakimoto, one of the composers behind Final Fantasy Tactics. I think he did that new game, 13 Sentinels, a bunch of other stuff, Valkyria Chronicles, stuff like that. So, a pretty well-known composer was on this game. And I have to say, the best part of the game is the music. I'm not too sure how many songs are in the game. I haven't done my, I haven't checked. But the game is very content light. And here's the thing. You need to understand. I've seen comments saying, I got ripped off. I paid $35 for this, and it's a super short game. I got ripped off. You can't look at it like that. I mean, you can, I guess, if you want. Obviously, I'm not going to be the judge of your money. I bought this as a collector's item, first and foremost. Something to keep in the collection and just have as a cool kind of memento to my love of the 3DS and tactical RPGs. This is a $4 eShop game, guys. It's the same thing as, I mean, Limited Run definitely has like a quality check, but Limited Run releases, $5, $10 games as physical sometimes. They release N64 Star Wars games as physical, and that gets a pass because it's a Star Wars game, right? This doesn't get a pass because it's a random indie game that no one knows, I guess, but in my mind, it's okay. However, I cannot deny that I was a little disappointed with this because it is very short. And I think William Kage and Squire Games could have done a better job kind of preparing people because when this game was announced, or at least announced for 3DS, he never really made a good job or did a good job saying like, okay, this is a really short game. This is like a really short game. So let me pull off the Band-Aid right now. To beat the story mode, there are 3 stages. You can technically beat Fragrant Story in like 15 minutes. However, I don't think that's a fair thing to really say. I mean, yes, objectively, yes. Factually, you can beat the game in like 15 minutes. However, there's other stuff to do. There's challenge modes. There's different difficulties. There's unlockables. There's like permanent upgrades for your main character, Rhubarb. So to say the game is 15 minutes, I think is a little bit dishonest. If you're playing this, if you're playing a 3DS game in 2022, I would hope that you're more interested in like 100%ing it. But obviously, not everybody's playstyle is going to be that way. Maybe you just really wanted like an epic story with great characters and voice acting. That's not in this game. This is a if you're just trying to play this for the story mode, yeah, no, don't play Fragrant Story. It's more of a novelty than anything. Even doing the challenge stuff, I'm like 25% of the way through the game, which isn't very far, obviously. So I haven't completed the game yet, but I've played about maybe 45 minutes, and I'm like 25% of the way done. It's a very short game regardless, even if you do 100%. I would say probably 4 to 5 hours. And the gameplay is promising. Here's the sad thing about Fragrant Story, right? The gameplay is promising. It's not enough, though. It's with how short the game is, the gameplay never really gets to live up to what it could have been. It is a very simple tactics game where every time you attack, a roulette wheel appears on the screen, and you have to time your attack right to get the actual hit. Sometimes you'll have the option to do a double hit. Sometimes if you have a certain move that like drains life, you have to land on the drain life attack. It's interesting, however, it's not very well thought out. I don't think there's a character, I forget her name, who can summon a bee, and the bee can do an attack for you. most broken thing in the game. You know, if you have the bee, you win, basically, because you can summon the bee every turn. So you can keep your main character away and keep her safe, and then keep summoning these bees, and then you're good. So the gameplay is good, or at least interesting, and conceptually it is good, I think is the way to put this, right? Conceptually, the gameplay is fun. And in actual practice, it leaves a lot to be desired. As well as these stages. So from what I've played, I think I've done 2 of the challenge stages. There's basically 3 layouts. There's like 3 layouts. And I think maybe like, I think each challenge mode might have a unique one. So for a total of what, like 7 or 8 total stages that are unique. Of course, there's 3 different difficulties for each one, which will spawn in a couple different enemies. However, total, I think there's maybe 5 or 6 enemy types in the game. So we're talking single-digit numbers for pretty much everything regarding this game, which is it's a very small game. And I think when people are going to get this game, they're going to be very disappointed because they bought this physical copy with the intent of playing it when, obviously, like I said, you can do what you want with your money. I bought it as a collector's item, as a memento of my love for the 3DS, not because I was ready to open up this game and play it. When I made my video, I mentioned it's a $4 eShop game. I said, listen guys, this is going to be a $4 eShop game. I did think it would be longer than this, to be honest. You know what? I think actually, to William Kage's credit, somewhere on the website it said the game is like 4 to 5 hours or something like that. Maybe even like 3 to 4, which would have been fine. It would have been perfect if it was a story game. The story is not that long. Like I said, it's like 10 to 15 minutes. The voice acting is good for the 2 characters that have voice acting and like the 8 lines of dialogue there are. There's 3 missions, and then in between each one you get like a little bit of story. The story is nothing. It's just like, oh, we're gonna go. I don't even know, to be honest. I don't even know. You're cleansing some plant god tree. I don't know. It does not matter because it literally lasts for 15 minutes. It's disappointing. The game is disappointing. However, I think people, I was on some video, looking at gameplay, like some direct capture, because I'm actually using that footage in this. I'll have the credit on the screen for the person that uploaded it. In the comments, the person was saying that this is a scam, and then someone else replied like, okay, contact him, you'll get a refund. Guys, it's a $4 eShop game. We're all adults here. We're all adults here. We made this purchase. You gotta live with it. You knew it was gonna be a short game. It wasn't a scam. If he said it was 4 to 5 hours on the website, then that is technically accurate for 100%. It's a $4 eShop game. Why would you buy it physically with the intent to play it? It's obviously meant as a collector's item. And yes, I've gotten comments about this before. Yes, it is obviously William Kage or Squire Games trying to cash in on the final 3DS push. It worked on me. It worked on me. I have no issue with the fact that it worked on me. But, it doesn't matter. It's a physical 3DS game. It is a real game. It's not like it's some absolute just travesty. It's not like I sent him money and just didn't get a game. I got a physical 3DS game. So, I think using the word scam when talking about this game is a little bit excessive, to be honest with you. But yeah, I just want to do a short review for the game and just kind of let you know what's going on. Maybe this will stop you from buying it. And especially, here's what I would recommend. If you bought the game physically, here's the thing. If you're upset with the length, if you're upset with how this game turned out, just sell the copy in a year. It's going to go up in value. It is. Do not open your copy. Do not open it. If you want to play it, it's $4 on the eShop. Just buy. That's what I did. I don't know open my copy, so I just spent the $4 on the eShop. Who cares, So watching this video, I would definitely recommend do not open it, because that will hurt the value. I'm not gonna sell my copy, but I like knowing that it's valuable. You know me, guys. I'm not in this to resell my games. I'm in it to just collect nice things that are worth money, and it's fun knowing they're worth money. But also as a memento of the 3DS, like I said. So there you guys have it. That was my review of Fragrant Story. It is a very short game with a little bit of potential that just is not there. Now I will say, where's the paper? Pull it out of my box here. He says a free update coming soon on this little piece of paper. Let me read this. Want more missions, more story, more characters, items, music? The first update is already done and is awaiting approval from Nintendo. It will address a known issue with how mission rewards are calculated, as well as fixing the re-needle job ability. New missions are in development, so stay tuned. Let me know what you want added. And then he has his Twitter and email. So, William Kage has promised more updates for Fragrant Story, which is good. Hopefully they're pretty substantial. He has all the groundwork laid out. He just needed to... Here's the thing that's kind of weird. He could have just copy and pasted the levels over and over again. I'm not really sure why he didn't do that. I'm not a game developer, but just based on my time messing around with Game Maker and knowing, you know, my roommate is a game developer, I know that wouldn't have been the end of the world to do that, just to kind of pad it out. Even it might not have been the best content, but then you wouldn't have been stuck with a game people are going to be complaining about because it's linked. Anyway, that is my review of Fragrant Story. As a physical collector, I'm very happy to have this in my collection. Is it a great game? No. It's a $4 eShop game. There are worse games on the eShop for $4. This game's going to get a lot of scrutiny, though, just because people had an expectation because they spent the money for a physical version. So just keep all this in mind when buying the game. It is still available on Squire Games' website if you're interested in a cool final physical 3DS game. I know there's, I think, Entre Dunos 2 and maybe a couple others coming out later this year, but one of the last final or last physical 3DS games. So there you guys have it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it informative, of course, follow me on Twitter at BoTalksMedia. Subscribe here for more 3DS, Wii U, Nintendo general content. Hit that bell so you don't miss a single video. And of course, you can join the Discord as well. Link to that is in the description. And until next time, guys, bye-bye.